The massive shipyard orbiting Earth hummed with anticipation. Massive floodlights illuminated the sleek hull of the UES Prometheus, a warship unlike any humanity had ever constructed. Captain J. Park stood motionless, her reflection dancing across the ship's polished titanium exterior. Inside the control room, engineers worked with surgical precision. Hai Kim, the chief engineer, ran her fingers across holographic displays that seemed to breathe with technological life. The ship was more than metal and circuits, it was a living machine designed to challenge everything the galaxy believed about human capabilities. The Prometheus represented humanity's most ambitious project. Decades of research, billions of dollars, and the collective genius of Earth's top scientists had converged to create this singular vessel. Its quantum-adaptive hull could reconfigure molecular structures in milliseconds, making traditional weapons completely obsolete. As final checks completed, a low hum began to resonate through the ship's systems. The quantum core, a technology so advanced it made alien spacecraft look like primitive toys, began to pulse with an almost living energy. Chief Engineer Kim watched the readings with a mixture of pride and nervous excitement. Captain Park understood the stakes. This wasn't just a test flight. This was humanity's statement to the galaxy, a declaration that they were no longer the youngest, weakest species in the cosmic neighborhood. The launch sequence initiated. Massive electromagnetic clamps released, and the Prometheus glided out of the shipyard with impossible grace. No rumbling engines, no violent thrust, just silent, perfect movement that defied every known law of physics. Navigational systems came online. Artificial intelligence integrated with human intuition, creating a symbiotic control mechanism never before seen in space exploration. The ship's computer didn't just respond to commands, it anticipated them, learned from them, evolved with each passing second. Sensors detected the first Galactic Concordance patrol fleet long before traditional scanning systems would have. The alien vessels approached, expecting to find another primitive human experiment. They were about to learn a brutal lesson about underestimating humanity. The first weapon discharge came quickly, a standard photon pulse designed to disable smaller vessels. The Prometheus didn't just absorb the attack. It analyzed the energy signature, understood its quantum frequency, and then did something unprecedented: it transformed the incoming energy into a defensive shield. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as their most advanced weaponry became nothing more than additional power for the human vessel. The Prometheus wasn't just defending, it was learning, adapting, growing more powerful with each millisecond of interaction. Hai Kim's fingers danced across her console. Complex algorithms translated alien weapon signatures into comprehensible data. The ship was collecting information faster than any biological intelligence could process. It was thinking, calculating, predicting potential attack vectors before the alien commanders could even conceive them. Captain Park remained calm. Her training had prepared her for this moment, a test that would determine humanity's future in the galactic community. Every movement, every decision would be analyzed, scrutinized by alien intelligence networks spanning thousands of light years. The Prometheus began its first true demonstration of capability. It didn't destroy. It didn't attack. Instead, it simply outmaneuvered the entire patrol fleet, rendering their most sophisticated combat strategies completely irrelevant. Alien communication channels erupted in confusion. Reports began streaming across multiple frequencies. A human vessel had just made an entire Galactic Concordance patrol look like children playing with outdated technology. As the Prometheus completed its initial trial, Captain Park allowed herself a slight smile. This was more than a technological achievement. This was humanity's announcement to the universe: we are here, we are different, and we will not be ignored. The ship's quantum core pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat. A machine alive with potential, a vessel that represented humanity's collective dream of exploration and excellence. The first trial was complete, and the galaxy would never be the same. The news spread like wildfire across galactic communication networks. Within hours, every intelligent species knew about the human vessel that had humiliated an entire Galactic Concordance patrol fleet. Representative Kong of the Galactic Council called an emergency session, his tentacles twisting with barely contained anger. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing the Prometheus's impossible performance. Alien representatives from 100 different worlds watched the footage, their various biological reactions ranging from shock to pure terror. Humanity had just demonstrated a technological leap that threatened everything they understood about space warfare. Captain J. Park sat in a secure Earth communication center, listening to the diplomatic chatter. She knew this moment was more than just a military demonstration, it was a political earthquake that would reshape interstellar relationships. The Galactic Council's initial response was predictably bureaucratic. Diplomatic channels began flooding with demands, warnings, and thinly veiled threats. They wanted the Prometheus studied, controlled, potentially even dismantled. The message was clear: humanity had stepped beyond its approved technological boundaries. Representative Kang's voice echoed through the communication chamber. Humanity has created a vessel that violates multiple interstellar technology agreements, he declared. His translator converted his complex language into crisp, calculated English. This cannot be allowed to continue. Earth's diplomatic team, led by a seasoned negotiator named Daniel Rodriguez, understood the game being played. This wasn't about safety or regulations, this was about maintaining the current power structure of the galaxy. Established species had grown comfortable with their technological hierarchies, and humanity was disrupting everything. The Prometheus remained in carefully monitored space, its quantum systems continuously analyzing the diplomatic exchanges. The ship was more than a weapon, it was a living database of information, collecting and processing data at speeds that made alien supercomputers look like ancient calculators. Hai Kim monitored the ship's systems, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. She understood something the alien representatives did not: the Prometheus was learning. Every communication, every threat, every diplomatic maneuver was being processed and understood. Political tensions escalated quickly. The Galactic Council began drafting new regulations specifically targeting human technological development. They proposed immediate restrictions on quantum research, limitations on spacecraft design, and mandatory technology transfer protocols. Earth's response was calculated and calm. They didn't deny the Prometheus's capabilities. Instead, they challenged the Council's authority to regulate human scientific progress. Diplomatic channels became battlegrounds of legal interpretation and technological philosophy. Representative Kohn pushed harder. Humanity must demonstrate compliance, he demanded. Your vessel represents an unpredictable threat to galactic stability. Captain Park watched the negotiations carefully. She understood that this was about more than a single ship. This was humanity's first true test on the galactic stage, a moment that would define their species' future among the stars. The quantum core of the Prometheus continued to pulse, almost like a heartbeat. It was collecting, analyzing, understanding. The ship was becoming more than a technological marvel, it was becoming a symbol of human potential. Alien species began taking sides. Some saw the human vessel as a dangerous anomaly that needed immediate control. Others saw it as a potential breakthrough that could revolutionize space exploration. The galactic community found itself divided. Earth's scientific community celebrated quietly. Years of research, decades of technological development, had finally produced something truly revolutionary. The Prometheus was proof that humanity could compete at the highest levels of technological innovation. As diplomatic tensions reached a boiling point, one thing became crystal clear: the relationship between humanity and the galactic community would never be the same. The Prometheus had changed everything, and no amount of bureaucratic maneuvering could put that genie back in the bottle. Captain Park allowed herself a small smile. The real journey was just beginning. The blockade formed with terrifying precision. Thousands of alien warships surrounded human space, creating an impenetrable wall of technological might. Each vessel represented a different species, united by a single purpose: to contain the human threat embodied by the Prometheus. Captain J. Park studied the tactical displays, her eyes calm despite the massive force arrayed against them. The UES Prometheus sat at the center of a potential conflict that could reshape galactic history. Chief Engineer Hai Kim worked silently beside her, the ship's quantum systems humming with quiet anticipation. The alien fleet wasn't taking any chances. Warships from the most advanced civilizations positioned themselves in intricate formations. Quantum disruptors, energy containment fields, and gravitational weapons created a multi-layered defense designed to crush any attempt at escape or resistance. Representative Kang's voice crackled through the communication systems. "Humanity will comply," he declared. "The Prometheus represents a threat to galactic stability. Surrender is your only option." Park's response was simple and direct. "We seek peaceful exploration," she transmitted. "The Prometheus is a scientific vessel." But everyone knew this was a lie. The ship was a weapon unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The first test came quickly. A coalition of alien warships launched a coordinated attack, expecting to overwhelm the human vessel with sheer technological superiority. Energy weapons that could vaporize entire planets converged on the Prometheus's position. Something extraordinary happened. The Prometheus didn't just defend. It transformed. Quantum adaptive systems absorbed the incoming energy, breaking down weapon signatures faster than the attacking ships could recalculate their strategies. Each attack made the ship stronger, more understanding of the technological landscape. Kim watched in awe as the ship's systems worked. It wasn't just defending, it was learning. Complex algorithms translated alien weapon frequencies into comprehensible data. The ship was becoming smarter with each passing moment. Alien commanders watched in horror as their most advanced weapons became nothing more than additional power for the human vessel. Communication channels erupted in confusion. Reports streamed across multiple frequencies. A human ship was making an entire galactic fleet look like children playing with outdated technology. The blockade began to crack. Some alien species started questioning the strategy. If their most advanced weapons couldn't touch the Prometheus, what was the point of continued aggression? Political divisions emerged within the Galactic Council, with some members arguing for negotiation instead of continued confrontation. Captain Park understood the psychological warfare happening around them. The Prometheus wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a statement about human potential. Each moment they survived the blockade was a victory. Tactical systems on the Prometheus continued to analyze and adapt. The ship could predict weapon trajectories before alien commanders could even conceive them. It wasn't just a defensive platform, it was a living, thinking entity that understood conflict at a quantum level. Representative Kang grew increasingly frustrated. The blockade was supposed to be a simple containment strategy. Instead, it was becoming a demonstration of human technological superiority. Each hour that passed made the Galactic Council look more ineffective. The quantum core of the Prometheus pulsed with an almost living energy. Sensors expanded, collecting information about the surrounding space. The ship was building a comprehensive understanding of galactic military technology, learning and adapting with each passing second. As the blockade continued, one thing became crystal clear: humanity had arrived on the galactic stage. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship. It was a declaration, a statement that humans would not be controlled, limited, or pushed aside. Captain Park allowed herself a small smile. The real test was just beginning. The blockade remained. But its effectiveness was becoming increasingly questionable. The battle near the Orion Spiral would become legendary. Thousands of alien warships converged, believing they could finally defeat the human vessel that had defied every expectation. The Prometheus hung in space like a silent predator, waiting. Tactical Officer Wu Li's fingers moved across the control panels with surgical precision. He understood something the alien commanders did not: this wasn't just a battle. It was a demonstration of human potential. The first wave of attacks came fast. Quantum disruptors capable of shattering entire planetary shields targeted the Prometheus. Most species would have been destroyed instantly. But this was no ordinary ship. The quantum adaptive hull began its remarkable dance. Each incoming weapon became something else entirely. Energy waves transformed, redirected, absorbed. The Prometheus wasn't just defending, it was converting destruction into power. Alien fleet commanders watched in growing horror. Their most advanced weapons were being turned against them, analyzed and neutralized in microseconds. The human vessel moved with impossible grace, predicting attack vectors before they were even initiated. Captain J. Park remained calm. Her training had prepared her for this moment, a pivotal point that would define humanity's future among the stars. Every movement was calculated, every decision a potential game-changer. The ship's artificial intelligence worked differently from anything in the galaxy. Instead of rigid programming, it learned. Each weapon's signature became a piece of information, each attack a lesson to be understood and countered. Hai Kim monitored the systems, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. The Prometheus was doing something unprecedented. It was exposing the fundamental weaknesses in alien military strategies that had remained unchallenged for centuries. One by one, alien ships began to retreat. Not because they were destroyed, but because they were completely outmatched. The human vessel had turned a massive military confrontation into a scientific demonstration of technological superiority. Representative Khan watched the battle unfold through remote sensors, his tentacles twisting with frustration. The Galactic Council's most elaborate military strategy was falling apart. Humanity had revealed something terrifying: they were not just another young species to be controlled. The Prometheus began transmitting data. Not weapons, not threats, pure scientific information. It showed the alien fleets their own technological limitations, revealing structural weaknesses in their most advanced systems. This wasn't just a battle. It was an education. Wu Li's tactical algorithms worked perfectly. The ship predicted and neutralized threats before they could fully form. Quantum entanglement allowed instantaneous communication and defense, making traditional space combat look like primitive warfare. Hours passed. The massive alien fleet, representing the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, found themselves completely neutralized by a single human vessel. No massive explosions. No dramatic destruction. Just complete, total technological superiority. Captain Park understood the psychological impact. This wasn't about winning a battle. This was about changing the entire galactic understanding of human potential. Each moment demonstrated that humanity was not a species to be controlled or limited. The quantum core of the Prometheus pulsed with an almost living energy. Sensors expanded, collecting information about the surrounding space. The ship was building a comprehensive understanding of galactic military technology, learning and adapting with each passing second. As the battle concluded, something remarkable happened. The alien fleet didn't retreat in anger. They retreated in respect. Humanity had shown them something they had never expected: a young species that could challenge everything they believed about technological development. Representative Kang's communication channels went silent. The Galactic Council would need to completely reconsider their approach to humanity. The Prometheus had done more than win a battle. It had changed the rules of engagement forever. Captain Park allowed herself a small smile. The real journey was just beginning. The stars watched in silent understanding. Everything had changed. The Galactic Council's chambers erupted with unprecedented chaos. Representatives from 100 different worlds argued, their holographic forms flickering with intense emotion. The decision was final: the Prometheus would be banned from all established galactic territories. New interstellar laws materialized within hours. Quantum research restrictions, technology transfer limitations, and specific regulations targeting human scientific development became universal mandates. The message was clear: humanity must be contained. Captain J. Park listened to the proclamation with calm determination. She understood this was more than a legal document. This was a desperate attempt to control something the galaxy couldn't comprehend. The Prometheus sat in Earth's orbital shipyard, its quantum core pulsing with an almost defiant energy. Chief Engineer Hai Kim ran final system checks, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with technological life. "They think they can stop us," Wu Li muttered, studying the newly created galactic restrictions. Each line of text was a challenge, each regulation a potential puzzle to be solved. Representative Kang's final transmission was a mixture of threat and warning. Humanity must understand its place, he declared. The alien diplomatic corps believed they had won a significant victory. They were wrong. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship. It was a symbol of human potential, a living testament to humanity's capacity for innovation. The ban became something else entirely, a challenge to be overcome, not a limitation to be accepted. Earth's scientific communities celebrated quietly. The restrictions meant nothing to researchers who had already demonstrated capabilities beyond galactic understanding. If anything, the ban would only accelerate human technological development. Preparations began for a mission beyond known space. The Prometheus would not be confined. It would explore, learn, and expand human knowledge in ways the Galactic Council could never anticipate. Quantum adaptive systems continued to evolve. Each moment, each calculation became an opportunity for growth. The ship was learning faster than any biological intelligence could comprehend. The ban was nothing more than a temporary obstacle. Captain Park reviewed the final mission parameters. They would push beyond the established boundaries, exploring regions of space that no civilization had ever documented. The Prometheus would become more than a ship, it would be humanity's first true ambassador to the unknown. Hi-Kim's final system integration was a work of art. Technology and human intuition merged in ways that defied conventional understanding. The ship could now predict, adapt, and overcome challenges before they fully materialized. The launch sequence began with silent precision. No massive engines, no violent thrust, just perfect, calculated movement that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The Galactic Council's restrictions meant nothing to a vessel that could reshape its own molecular structure. Communication channels across the galaxy watched in tense anticipation. The human vessel that had challenged everything was about to demonstrate that no restriction could truly contain human potential. As the Prometheus glided away from Earth's orbital shipyard, something remarkable happened. It didn't just leave, it transformed. Quantum systems reconfigured, creating a signature that would be impossible to track or predict. Woolley's tactical systems mapped impossible routes through unexplored space. Each calculation was a middle finger to the galactic restrictions. Humanity would not be told where it could and could not go. Representative Kong and the Galactic Council watched helplessly. Their most elaborate restrictions had become nothing more than a piece of outdated paperwork. The Prometheus had already moved beyond their comprehension. Captain Park's final transmission was simple and direct. "Exploration continues," she said. No anger, no defiance, just a statement of fact. Humanity would not be stopped. The stars seemed to welcome the Prometheus. Vast, unexplored regions of space opened up like a promise. The ship was more than a technological marvel, it was hope made real, potential given form. Banned, but unbroken. The journey was just beginning.